This is something new from Hunkydory. It's called a Build-A-Topper pad, and Heidi has created some very fun projects for us. In fact, let me show you one of them. Here is the card with the topper. This particular one has an easel on the front, and then it opens like that on the inside. Okay, you can do lots of things with these, so please come play with us. Well, as you can see, there are two Build-A-Topper collections. The first is Wonderful Women, followed by Marvelous Men, which is exactly how life should be. And let me show you what you're going to receive. Now, the pad, it is a pad, and you're going to get these bases for the card, and then you're going to get these punch out that are die cut for the embellishment. So lots of fun things going on. So let me scoot these over, and we're starting with the Marvelous Men. Okay, so our very first card is the one that I just showed you. So thank you. Jeanette will get in close so you can see. Now the card base is this size, and it is 5 3/4 by 3 3/8. So it's kind of like an A2 size. But what Heidi has done is she has attached them to our standard cards, which are 5 by 6 1/2. It just gives you some room to play, as we would say. So this is the piece, and because this is on an easel, you need to create that easel. So let me show you how that works. You're going to need a piece of cardstock. Now Heidi has used the At the Shore collection. So for the pattern papers, she's used the At the Shore, also for the solid At the Shore, okay? So, and that certainly makes sense because you see that design is very oceany. So I'm not talking about the card base right now, I'm talking about this easel. So this is a 6 1/2 by 5 inch piece, and she scored it twice, first at 1 1/2 and then at 3 1/4. Now the 3 1/4 is going to be half of this, and then you can use the bone folder to really press that down. So that's doing this piece in half, and then this, that very first one, is doing the front of it pretty much in half, okay? And this is going to go on your card. Now, that card has got a couple of layers on it. You can see that oceany look behind it. In fact, let me show you just a little bit. I guess you can see it peeking out. And so she cut the pattern cardstock, and then she matted it on the hammered gold, and the hammered gold looks like this. So it does have a texture to it. This is how it comes. So as I said, you're going to cut your At the Shore pattern cardstock, mat it on the hammered gold, glue it flat down. Then you're going to take this piece and glue the back of it to the center of your card. Then going to take the piece that I showed you. Now, what they do in the collection is they have 4 different bases, and you can see this is the one that Heidi has used. You can see that cording right there. So that is what she used to be her easel, or that's going to move, and so she's going to glue just the bottom of that to the bottom of this piece. Okay, so this is glued down, then that is glued right here. Then she took the second piece, and again, that has 4 different quadrants, and she popped these out and she foam taped them in place. So you can see that ship in a bottle, you can see the wheel, you can see that she had the You Are a Treasure. Now the You Are a Treasure is a cutout from At the Shore collection, and then she took the jute and tied a bow, and you can see that she used multiple colors, and that's kind of fun, and simply zotted that in place. So that goes there. Now on the inside of this card, she also took a piece from that At the Shore and just glued it at the bottom. The Hello Summer is also from the At the Shore, and then the little seashell and the starfish, those are part of the die cut foil pieces. You can see those right in there. And that just made a really nice front of the card. Now for the inside of the card, she duplicated some of the same techniques. So this is a piece from At the Shore. She matted it, or covered up the inside of her card with the hammer gold so it matches. And by the way, the hammer gold is going to play with the foiling on those die cuts, and so that's a really good reason. So you can see the bottle is here, the starfish, and Treasure Every Moment is right there, more of the jute. Then she also took the dewdrops, and the dewdrops are clear, so they're going to give you a shine, and they're right down there. Maybe we can get in closer to take a peek at that. There we go. So you can see it's right there, right down there. There's another little one. So that just adds a bit more of the bit more texture and shine. So that is our very first card. So some fun things going on. I didn't tell you, but I want to tell you, is that when Heidi did this and when I made this sample, I did use the scoreboard. I found it was just really easy. So 6.5 by 5, 1.5, 3 1/4, worked out just really well. Plus you've got the bone folder right there. Okay, now we'll move on to our second card. And this is also from The Marvelous Men. And so here we go. So you can see some things are going on. Now, this is using the same sheet of the base that was in the first one. So this is the one that Heidi used, but now this is the one that she's using this time. Okay, and you get multiples of these, so you have lots to work with. And you can see that she started out with a sheet of solid colored cardstock. And let me show you where that came from. So she started out with a piece of the sunflower cardstock, and you can see she used the yellow. And this measured 10 by 6.5. Well, the way that we can look at that is 10 inches is double the 5 inches. So 5 and 5 is 10 by 6.5. That worked out perfectly. Then what she did was to take that piece that she used from the pad that I just showed you, this one, and she laid it on the top. I guess what you would do is you would open this up, lay that piece on the top, then use your ruler and your penknife on top of a self-healing cutting mat and go ahead and cut that piece that opening that's going to be about 1/2 inch from each of the edges. Okay, just works out perfectly, don't you think? And the ruler is nice because it's got a metal edge, so you're not going to be inadvertently cutting into the ruler. It's going to last for you. This is our penknife. And what I love is that you have a very fine blade, but also you're not going to stab yourself because you can push the button and it will retract, keeping it very safe. Okay, so again, this is 10 by 6.5. You have cut out that rectangle, and you can see that that piece is going to go inside. Now, Heidi foam taped this down. You can foam tape it or glue it, whatever you like. And then she went into the sheet, and again, it's just below the first one, and she has all of these game pieces. So on the inside, she's got the chess piece, she's got the cards, and she elected to, around the edges, use our fancy border fancy border dazzles. And you can see she used green here, red top and bottom, little high on each one. Also on the front, she reversed the colors and used red on the sides and green at the top and bottom. Now these words that are celebrate, happy thoughts, happy birthday, hello, those come from the tiny words and phrases. This is also in colors, primary colors. So you have both of these collections that play really nicely with this. Now after this was done, then she added more of the die cuts and just popped them on. And then she closed this and then further embellished. So this way, if you do the inside first, you have a better idea of where to perfectly put that chess piece as well as the dartboard, the dice as well as that circle up there. So it just works really nicely. So a lot of fun games. And I thought it was a really good selection. Now, the other thing I wanted to share with you is that there are more pieces in here. So you can see that there are more bases. And again, this is on a pad, so they are just gummed at the top. So you can see all of those backgrounds. And then you can see all the options for doing the cards for the men in your life. So that worked very nicely. Now, as you know, that was the Marvelous Men. We'll go to the Wonderful Women, and we're going to start with this one. A little bit about the same thing is that you have this smaller piece. You can use that as your card. That's kind of an A2 size. We like to make it bigger, make it a little more spectacular, and that's what Heidi has done. So she has used, in this case, let me pull this out. This is, believe it or not, the fairy garden. Now you don't really see fairies in here, and that was sort of our point when we designed this, is that the fairies are tiny and they are not screaming at you. They're gentle fairies. And so you can take the paper, and you can see in the directions she cut out one piece. This is the black, matted it on the fairy garden solid cardstock, and then glued it to the front of her card. Now she also cut another strip and she matted it, and to go along with the foiling, you can see how perfectly it matches, she used the Marigold cardstock, and it's just, you can see right there. So there's the foiling on the die cuts, and there's the Mary. So it's exactly the same. It looks really nice. Then she selected, this is the base that she has, and you can see it's right here. You know, and it's just kind of, I'm not really excited by that, but boy, when she adds the foiled die cuts, it just really springs to life, as you would expect. So that's really good. Now, the piece right here, this is out of the fairy garden. She matted it on the Mary. But this, we hope your day is as beautiful as you are. That is one of the foiled pieces. You can see it right there. And she foam taped that. Now the flowers are individual as well as a bouquet. And those she also added some crystals to. And the crystals are they're right here. They're just called Crystal Shimmer Sparkles. And they just add, kind of like the dewdrops, they just add a little bit of sparkle. It's not an in-your-face, it's just pretty delicate. Now the bow comes from our magenta and dark pink ribbon collection. And as you know, it is made with the bow maker. And so many have said what a lifesaver that has been to learn that technique. So this is our first card, but there is an inside, of course. And you can see where she just covered the inside with that pink, did another of the fairy garden, matted it, and then added, this is one of the die cuts from the fairy garden collection. These are the foil die cuts that she popped out and put the crystals on top, another little bow, and you are done. So it just really, I think you go a long way from this piece to this card. I think it's just really a nice jump. Okay, let's see what our last one is. And this too is out of the Marvelous Women and Wonderful Women, Marvelous Men, excuse me. This is out of an older paper collection. In fact, this is kind of winding down, so we don't have a ton of these left. This is the Swirls Upon Twirls. Now this has kind of a bold statement, but you can see what she's done is that she's used kind of a muted back one. She did a different gold, as you can see, and this is using the Gold Sparkles holographic cardstock. Look at that. And if that's too much for you, it's not too much for me, but if it's too much for you, you can see how just having a border of it just adds a bit of shine, not just a bit, it adds a lot of shine and sparkle. So it's going to be the same idea. So she's taken a purple Swirls and Twirls, and put it onto her card. Now, her card is made out of the sparkles. So this is going to be 10, whoops, no it isn't. This is going to be, so it's 6.5, so it's 6 inches, so it's going to be 12 inches by 4.5, okay? And then you just score it in the middle. So that's going to work nicely. Now, as I said, you're going to have that piece of swirls upon twirls. And then here is the section that Heidi pulled. And this was the first card. Here's the second one. Again, there's it's kind of a fun pattern, but not really strong, I would say. And so she has foam taped that in place. And then out of the die cut sheet, she has pulled all of these presents and the balloon. So you can see how they are just foam taped in place, even the little envelope right there. The For You with Love is also on that piece, and that fits nicely. So it's very full, which is really fun. Now this goes into the purple ribbon collection. You can see the baker's twine right there. And then she also added the purple shimmer sparkles. And you can see all the shades of purple. So there's one in that bow, one there on the envelope. On the inside of her card, she added a second piece of the swirls upon twirls. Now you get a chance to really see some of those swirls. Just a 1/2 inch wide strip of the sparkles. Now this is one of the cutouts of the swirls upon twirls that she matted on the sparkle. I liked how she turned it at an angle, foam taped it, did another of the baker's twine and another of the sparkles right there. Wishing you everything happy. So again, really taking it a nice step. Now, I've shown you 2 of the sheets in the pad for women, but here are the other 2. So there's the base, so you see there's 4 of them, and then there is the artwork that you can play with and manipulate however you like. Okay, so we have given you 2 cards out of the Wonderful Women and 2 cards out of the Marvelous Men. That way you've got some options, plus you have some different ways of using those, which is always fun. Now, if you would like them both, you can order them individually, but you know, why not save some money and get the money saver that's on the right side of your screen. All of the cards are down below with the instructions that Heidi has written out for you, so that you've got all of the exact measurements, just in case you didn't catch them when I was going through them so quickly. And that just takes care of everything for you. Now, if you are watching us on YouTube, well, you know the drill. Please like us. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And also, we hope you'll subscribe. Then head on over to paperwishes.com, take advantage of that money saver, check out the cards, and we hope you'll join us all the time. In fact, we have about 20 webisodes a month. So we're giving you lots of creativity along with these brand new products. Okay, that's it. Thank you, Heidi. Great job. And thank you, as always, for joining us and being part of the Paper Wishes family. See you next time.